Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I thought we'd continue on with my big steady rest modification. What I need to do next is figure out how much material I need to take off of this base, the part that slides on the ways. So this is sitting in the proper position. So I guess what I need to do is get a good measurement off the ways here. And the only way I can figure that out myself, now that this is all machined flat and square, is to hang it from this pin. By putting the fingers in here, adjusting them so this hangs correctly, and place some gauge blocks perhaps underneath here. Let's sit down at the table and put this thing back together right away. Let's do that. Like I said, the only way I know how to come up with a dimension, how much I should take off of this part, is to, if this is hanging right in the right place off of these fingers, and I put some gauge blocks under here, I'll have a dimension from here to here. Then I know how much to cut off. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try and get a dimension. But first I have to put this together, which shouldn't be that hard. This thing is square. That's how I cut this flat. I laid it right on these surfaces because I had measured. This here is on 30 degrees. This one's on 30 degrees. The other one is right in the middle coming down. Well, it's supposed to be in the middle. I don't know if you saw the first couple of videos, but this is off center a little bit. That's another thing that has to be fixed. But if I put these in the proper place, I can actually hang it off of a pin with all three hanging there. I could start putting pins underneath there, pins or gauge blocks, and keep indicating up and back until it's straight. Within a couple of thousandths, you'll be fine. A couple of 5 thousandths. So let me put this back together right away. And we'll get back to the lathe and start measuring things. Let's do that. The whole thing is trying to get this pin to sit in the middle of that diameter on both of them. When both of them are sitting where this pin is in the center, I know that that is the proper height. If they're too low, too high, it's not in the center. This is going to be a really quick video. I didn't say that in the beginning, but I meant to. I'm making this video, it's right before Labor Day weekend. And I have a lot of things I have to get done. So I need to cut this video short. And you're probably watching it, it should be Labor Day weekend is when this video should come out. So who's got time to watch a YouTube video when, a long YouTube video, on Labor Day weekend when you should get ready. You should be getting ready to barbecue. I don't know if you could see how off center that is. That's why I have to fix. This whole thing needs to be moved over towards the center. But it will hold on to the pin for now. I need to put this on to keep it closed. I think this will be good enough to put it back on the lathe and be able to level it. Like I said, what I'll do is every time I put a new set of gauge blocks or pins in there, I will check this to make sure it is level. Let's get back to the lathe. Before I left the table, I adjusted these fingers with my scale, nothing real accurate, so that just the steel part you see before it gets to the brass or copper, I think that's brass, so they were sticking out approximately the same amount. So what I want to do is, yeah, that's not bad. I want to set it on here. Like I said, that pin needs to rest on the center line of this finger on both sides. When that happens, I'm pretty sure that that would be straight. Now all I got to do is adjust this just to hold it in place. I don't know if you could see that the diameter, the center line of the diameter, and this look to be pretty centered. And I just lock this finger down just to snug it up. Now I just need to get a dimension from the top of this way to the bottom of this steady rest when it's level, or within 5/10,000ths. I don't really care. I think it'll be just fine. I'll get it as close as I can. But once I get a dimension here, then I'll know how much to chop off of here. Okay. I've got some gauge blocks and I've got some pins over here. Let's just get a real fast dimension with my scale. This is a little over 400. 430. We'll start with that, 430. I'm going to use pins. It's a lot faster. That's 429. Too high. This is 420. .420 is too high on both sides also. Let's go with 410. 410 sits perfect on one side. It's loose on the other. So we'll go to 411. I have a 411 on this side on the front and 412. Now what I need to do is put an indicator on it and see how level that is. I was just going to use, let's see, I'm going to put this on there just so I can swivel this up and back, move it around. Like I said, that's 411 in the front on this side and 412 on the operator side. Zero. It's moving about. All right. This side, it's about -1. And on the operator side, it's 0. It moving around about 1,000th or so. All right. So 412, 411. I'd have to say 411 and a half. To make that perfect. So, I would have to say the dimension here needs to be 411 and a half. I'm going to go plus or minus 5 thousandths. We're not going to the moon with this. Let's sit down at the table and I'll explain what I want to do here. This thing needs to not only be bolted onto the bottom of this, but it needs to be keyed. Needs to be keyed so it don't move up and back on here. It needs to stay straight, and I don't want it drifting this way. Front and back, side to side. So what I need to do is make some kind of key. I want to key this thing this way, and I want to key it across here. What I need to do is come up with some dimensions for where those are going to be. This whole video is just figuring out what I need to do, what kind of dimensions I need. The whole reason I machined flats front and back on this is so when I put this on there, on the machine, I have a flat here. I could measure where this is. I don't know where any of this is going. Okay, now that we know how thick this has to be, that would be from this surface to that surface here. That's 411 and a half, plus or minus 5 thousandths. I have to come up with some decisions on whether I'm going to cut a keyway in here, both ways, and in here, or leave it sticking up, just machine it in here and cut the keyway into that half. I haven't come up with those decisions yet. I haven't made a decision, I should say. But I think for a quickie Labor Day weekend video, I'm going to have to say, until next time, enjoy.